and it is the glorious 12th of August 2009, and glorious it is, sun is shining down. It's 10 years at the top. We launched on the glorious 12th 2009 with a few hundred views. We're now on 123 million. To mark a decade of weekly programming, we're going to look back, reminisce and indulge a bit with some of the people we've worked with and laughed with as we've tried our best to make hunting, shooting and fishing accessible to all.
Damaged, and we've had.
And what about the next 10 years? Well, there's a shift and we need your help to fight and not fade away. Birthday to you. We can't have a birthday party without guests. These gentlemen are just a few of the people who have generously shared their time and expertise with us and with you. Welcome to Fieldsports Channel's 10th birthday.
5,258,880 minutes ago, which was a Wednesday, a much younger David Wright and Charlie Jacoby pressed the published button on the very first Fieldsports Britain. From the sheer tens of minutes of research done by Charlie Jacoby before the life-changing endeavour, they knew that YouTube was a platform for cat lovers. However, they wanted to make a programme about hunting. So they did what any serious journalist would have done. They started with clickbait. They found the biggest cat they could, and they took it hunting. Watch until the end, you won't believe what happens next. After watching the view counter rocket up to well over 103 views, they knew that this is what they wanted to do for the entirety of their every waking hour. And they have. At the time, David knew nothing about hunting and shooting, and Charlie knew even less about TV production. And as most would agree, David has come a long way.
And finally,
thankfully, David found Roy Lupton, the hunting shooting equivalent of a Leatherman multi-tool. He does air guns, eagles, foxing, deer stalking, calling. He makes lots of strange noises, this fella. Fieldsports Britain now has more and more talent, from cooks to keepers to crow. The show keeps coming week after week and the audience is still growing. Fieldsports Channel is not the flash in the pan that some people thought. At some point, along comes James. He's the commercial bloke who brings the partnership deals and makes Fieldsports Channel into a proper company. That was a very sensible idea. They expand, they grow, they do cool stuff, and they do naughty stuff.
No, I had no trimming. I have not been to the salon.
They make mistakes with the best intentions. They want to be as loud and as proud as they can be about the wonderful world of field sports. And the viewers go with this because the viewers keep coming and keep feeling more confident about their sport. You see, you are a part of it. If you've seen every single episode, or if you've just seen this one film, then thank you. We hope that we have entertained and informed you and lots of other people around the globe. All Fieldsports Channel has ever wanted to do is spread the word about the best hunting, shooting and fishing to an audience just as awesome as you. So thank you for being here and being with us for the next 10 years.
that's how powerful we are. Not just us, Fieldsports Channel, but all of us, the Fieldsports Nation, the world hunting community. Those stats tell me that there is a healthy hunger for hunting on YouTube, and it continues to grow, and so do we. And this is where we ask you for help. If we have made you laugh or cry or pick up a rifle or a rod or a ferret, or if you just come along and enjoy free-to-air shows from time to time, please think about joining our Fieldsports Nation. It's time to talk to the people in the street, not just in the theatre. And we have the skills to do it. In the last week, we've had press and TV on Sky, on the BBC, and the Times newspaper and Mail Online. That's our strategy. Here's David.
Most people know or soon realise that I'm not a hunter. I was an environmental scientist who then became a journalist and wanted to make films about the countryside. That's when I met Charlie, and it's because of him that I became fascinated with field sports and the people within it. Now I think there are millions of people like me peering in from the outside who are keen and hungry to learn more and understand. And the best way I know of doing that is through our films. We already know these films won't be funded by sponsorship, but they need to be made. Instead, we're having to ask you to help us crowdfund, community fund, because ultimately the end goal is that we all benefit. I want to make films that you can share with your non-shooting family and friends, that clears up any confusion, shows the good stuff, and yes, questions the bad stuff, and encourages them to take a closer look. Because if they do, like I did, they may be fascinated too. How could they not be?
The organisations are fantastic at lobbying. The government, the police, the civil service, the law. We are the noisy kids at the back of the bus. Now, normally those naughty boys and girls would be trying to steal your pocket money. This time, we're just going to ask nicely. Here's how. If you're on YouTube and you know about YouTube, please click the join button, which you'll find here. And that's not the only way to join the Fieldsports Nation. To find out more, click on f-channel/Fieldsports Nation. Our amazing army of sponsors will continue to fund the fun and the adventure that Fieldsports Channel brings you every week. You're going to be backing the Countrysports supporters, who are the true eco-warriors. Now, the Fieldsports Channel family, like all families, can be dysfunctional, challenging at times, but very, very loyal and always, always on top of their game. The enormous agricultural tyres make it useful in all conditions and give decent ground clearance.
And I wrote an article for Charlie Jacoby, who was then the editor of the Sporting Rifle magazine. Anyway, and then I got the phone call from you guys and said, can we do a film? And I was going, really? And I was so excited. I was going, oh wow, I really was. I was telling you, I'm going to be on TV.
Original escapees in the south of England after the Great Storm.
10 years, Mr. Holton.
I know.
You were there at the very, very
I was there
start.
before the beginning.
You were?
I was there before the beginning when probably that camera still belonged to ITV.
It's a large animal, that'll almost always be one of the matriarchs of the group, a large sow, and we avoid shooting those at all costs.
I never ever trusted you, and I should never have done. And as you can hear out there at the moment, he's calling for me to go in there so we can make a nest together and start copulation. And then here we are finding ourselves 10 years later, but no, I didn't trust you in the slightest at all when we started, so I was very, very careful, because you just don't know what sort of expose or what sort of angle you were coming at from the beginning. But obviously it's been an interesting ride ever since.
If everything comes together, pigeon shooting can be huge fun and deliver enormous bags. Here, it's not me. It is not me.
Yeah, I like it. You get up against the hedge, you got no, like that when I shot that as that was coming up the hedge behind, or over the shore behind me. So
Yeah.
if you'd been underneath the shore, you wouldn't have been able to shot it because you was underneath the oak tree. So
You try and give yourself a maximum amount of coverage.
yeah.
Oh man, when you first come there, I just under nerves, but just go now. But that thing there, it don't bother me. But I'll tell you, I've seen that rip people to pieces. The whirly through the gap in the hedge, and they're just diving through in the wind, and that's why they're coming in a bit better now. It's getting to that time of day.
I made you work hard, didn't I?
Well, I really was looking forward to it until you turned the camera on. And I was just absolutely terrified. And I remember you saying, Tim, it's very simple, you know, all you got to do is go and talk. And I was going, da da da. And I was just... This is my rabbit truck. It's based on a Discovery 4-litre petrol with a 5-speed manual gearbox, and I have a lot of fun with this.
We've got 3 days and 1,500 miles to cover to complete the Ferrari McNab.
I always look back on the Ferrari adventure that we did. You know, Land's End to John O'Groats in the Ferrari. Amazing. You know, stag stalking, which I had done, grouse shooting, which I never had done, and then catching a salmon up on the Thurso with Irish John and Chris Blackburn. I mean, just a brilliant adventure. A brilliant adventure.
No trophy for me, just the memory of a knee trembling moment that will stay with me for the rest of my life. Something I'll tell my young son about when he's old enough to understand.
And even some of the kind of quite mundane thing. I remember August the 1st here, stalking fallow up at the top of the farm, and it was misty, and we managed to get in the high seat and you could just see the antlers above the corn. And then, do you remember the family of roe deer that stalked basically into the camera? And they came to like 15 yards away from us. I mean, we'd stood there in the middle of the path, filming the family of roe deer and stuff like that. It does stay with you. You know, I think that's what our kind of passion for the countryside. You know, this is really memorable stuff. It's important stuff.
Oh, we've got some good footage, but you know, there's always better. There's always better. And I think that's it, isn't it? You know, I think that's why I'm still doing it now after 10 years, because you know there's better. There's more you can achieve. That there's more information that you can impart, and try and learn, because it's a learning game for us as well all the time. With the filming side of things, you know, you think, can we do that? Can we try this? And yeah, okay. Some things work better than you expected. Some things have an alternative reaction, one that we could never have foreseen. But it really does just go to show how small a kill shot or target area you've got with a rabbit with an air rifle. So it looks much bigger, obviously, because you've got the fur and the ears coming up here.
It's made my day, though, as I'll tell you.
Very impressed, yeah. I'd like to have a go. I don't think I'd have hit it though.
Where we started and where you started and where you are now, you really have progressed. Because if there's, say, 3 pigeons coming towards me, you know which one I'm shooting now. You've learnt how I shoot and you know how I shoot, so you're on the right one. It's like if we go pheasant shooting, there'd be a flush of pheasants, and I'll pick one and you're on it, and you really have, you've progressed and you enjoy, whereas before it seemed to me like you was filming it, but now, well, you were filming it, but now you enjoy it, you enjoy the day.
So is it bad luck for someone else to shoot you on
No, not if it's a lady. Yeah, basically I was a gamekeeper working for someone, running an estate. I wanted to keep low key, asked to do it. I said, yes, I'll do everything to help you, but I don't want to be in it. And I think that must have been the first, probably first 1 or 2, 3 shows. I think probably the first one we did was the Zeiss, the Duralit one, was when the first time I sort of like got more involved in front of camera. And it's my Gloucestershire twang, it's still there now, and it's
Do you not like hearing yourself?
Not so bad now. I like zone out and just think of what I'm actually doing and see if it's right. But no, it was at the time it was really, really bad. But now, just used to it now.
It's been a challenging, exciting, educational 10 years, and hopefully, please, David, it'll be another 10 years. But no, it's been really, really good, mate.
Well, Mr. Lupton, it wouldn't have been the same without you.
I hope it's been fun. It's the future. I want another shot.
No.
I want another shot.
No, you had the best air rifle.
No, but I shot it closer to the spine, so it was obviously a lot more compact. Yeah, no.
You know, you're quite a special group. There's not that many of them.
Special, yeah.
It is special.
Very special. Yes, it is.
Well, all I can say, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, as with you, David. Cheers.
Bring it in, big man.
Oh, headphones.
Oh. Thank you to those guys and to everyone who has tolerated having a camera shoved in their face by us over the last 10 years. More than 500 Fieldsports Britain episodes, nearly 200 episodes of our other shows. Our gratitude is really sincere. Now, the internet has allowed hunting to go global, and YouTube has let us spread our wings even into Mandarin Chinese.
祝英国猎奇频道10周岁生日快乐！祝愿明天越来越好！Happy birthday, Fieldsports Channel!
That's our guy Philip Chang in China, where, according to the Sunday Times Fieldsports Channel, is the second most watched UK-made TV show in China. Plus, there's South Africa.
Veel geluk Fieldsports Channel op jou 10de verjaarsdag. Dankie vir al die mooi video's. Ons wens jou al die beste.
That's Rich Leonard speaking Afrikaans. He makes African Hunter for us and Fieldsports Africa. And we have made hunting shows on every continent on Earth apart from Antarctica.
Feliz aniversario Fieldsports. Espero que podamos disfrutar de muchos más.
That's Carlos Carubia, who makes films for us in Argentina. We even reach famous Hollywood stars.
Hey Charlie, it's Vinnie. Happy 10th anniversary, son. As you can see, I've traded in me gun and me rod for me driver. But not for long, son. Happy 10th.
Yeah, well, Vinnie, he is one of us, isn't he? Right, back to what we're good at. Apart from one thing. It's still David on the Fieldsports Channel News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. Mass trespasses of grouse shoots are underway. Aunties in black balaclavas took to the moors to try and stop shooters enjoying the glorious 12th. More than 100 masked saboteurs located a shoot at Upper Snailsden Moss in the Northern Peaks and closed in to try and shut it down. Aunties did the same on Emmet Moor in Derbyshire. The violent extremists have been warning for weeks that a trespass will take place, including this tweet from Class War in July. A day earlier, the Aunties Hen Harrier Day in Derbyshire was the rallying point. In speeches, Aunties including Dominic Dyer called on his supporters to become an army to stop grouse shooting. Thanks to ethical_carnivore for the video and Bowring Liz 243 for the pictures, both on Instagram. Speakers at the Hen Harrier Day chose to ignore Grouse Moor's good work with hen harriers. Almost all hen harriers that fledged this year fledged on grouse moors or land managed by gamekeepers.
It has been an astonishing success. Looking at the ongoing trend, you can see that the number of successfully fledged chicks has climbed back up to where it was in 2006.
The RSPB is opposed to a hen harrier introduction scheme championed by the pro-shooting organisations. The Moorland Association put out this video of the brood management scheme trial in action. Meanwhile, the RSPB is under fire for disturbing hen harrier nests in efforts to film the birds. A pair of hen harriers abandoned their nest in Derbyshire shortly after the RSPB and National Trust invited a film crew to film it fitting a 3-week-old chick with a tracking device. Basque called into question the safety of tagging wild birds with telemetry technology. Sir Ian Botham has put up a robust defence of grouse shooting. In an article in the Daily Telegraph, the former cricketer answers Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn's call to ban grouse shooting. He says the Labour Party's proposed review of grouse shooting deserves a place in the National Archives because it will speak to generations to come as an example of how policymakers living in posh London postcodes can get so many basic facts about the countryside spectacularly wrong. Basque has defended grouse shooting on Channel 4 News against Chris Packham. The reporter cut off Basque head of biodiversity Ian Danby answering a point about Muirburn. He later took to Twitter to answer the point in full. There are links to the debate and to Ian's follow-up video in the links below. Charlie heads to the bird fair this weekend to have a chat with Chris Packham and his bird rights activist friends Ruth Tingay and Mark Avery. A debate that should have been at the game fair will take place in front of a smaller audience of bird watchers at the bird fair at Rutland Water at 12 p.m. on Saturday. If there's a 4G mast in the area, we will stream it live on YouTube. If not, we'll upload it later that day. If you have a question you'd like Charlie to put to them, please put it in the comments below. A £1.3 million project to introduce eagles to southern Scotland has hit a bump. It released 3 eagles in the Moffat Hills, 2 of them shown in this film. One has now killed another and the third has gone missing, its radio tracker no longer working. One of the project directors, Des Thompson, says he's never heard of this happening before, even though he was part of a reintroduction of golden eagles to Ireland, which saw similar failures. The UK government has reaffirmed its desire to have shooting sports at the Commonwealth Games 2022. Birmingham is holding the games and dropped shooting. Some shooters believe the city wants to distance itself from its proud gun-making heritage. Now, Sports Minister Nigel Adams says he wants to see shotgun and pistol events take place near Birmingham and rifle events at Bisley. Australia is considering joining India in threatening to boycott the 2022 Commonwealth Games if shooting is not added to the programme in Birmingham. Ireland is to ban coursing following the discovery of the first cases of RHD V2. The rabbit hemorrhagic disease has jumped from rabbits to hares, and cases have been found in both County Clare and County Wicklow. Now the government has suspended licences issued to the Irish Coursing Club to capture and tag hares for the 2019-2020 hare coursing season with immediate effect until it says in a statement a clearer understanding of the extent, spread and implications of the RHD2 virus emerges. Up to 90% of wild boar in Eastern Europe are to be wiped out. African swine fever has reached the Balkans with cases in both Serbia and Croatia. Tomo Svetic, who runs sporting agent Artemis Hunting, says his estates have escaped the cull, but it throws into doubt driven wild boar hunting throughout Eastern Europe this season.
Grounds where we have fenced and semi-fenced area, we are exempt because according to them we can still manage the migration of animals. And the problem is for guests who paid shoots, if they knew what's going on, probably they wouldn't come. The only danger is that they will go to shoot and there will be nothing.
Meanwhile, there are so many wild boar in Rome, the authorities are welcoming the arrival of wolves. A wolf was spotted at an urban farm in Rome, close to the home of Rome's mayor. It is thought to have been hunting wild boar. Big game hunting interests in South Africa have come together to reintroduce lions to an area of the Zambezi Delta. The story is told in this film, 24 Lions, by filmmaker Sean Villion. Backers of the project include Ivan Carter Safaris and the Cabela Family Foundation. So how much does a good quality hunting ranch in Texas cost? Well, the answer is $54 million, around £40 million. A sprawling South Texas property southwest of San Antonio has just sold, and that was its asking price. The 18,000-acre-plus La Bandera Ranch hit the market in the spring. It has 3 lodge houses with 46 bedrooms, a resort-style swimming pool, and its own private runway and airplane hangar. The buyer is a local investor. A camper in Calgary in Canada has been attacked by a wolf in his tent. The animal attacked Matthew Rispoli, who was camping with his wife and family. It was half in the tent and trying to drag Matt out of it when fellow camper Russ Fee came to his aid, as Russ explained on the Calgary Eye Opener show on CBC.
It was just so quick, and the screams were so intense that I knew it was obviously a terrible situation. So I just kind of kept running at it, and I just kicked it in the sort of in the back hip area, like I was kicking in a door.
You booted it?
I booted it as hard as I could. I don't think I hurt it very much. It was pretty large, but it startled it enough that I think it let Matt go, and it sort of stumbled out, and I felt like I'd kind of punched someone that was way out of my weight class.
Yeah, okay.
It was immediately regretted kicking it, but as soon as it popped out of the tent, Matt came flying out. His whole half side was just covered in blood, but he was pretty amped up too, so we both just started screaming at it, and it backed away a little bit.
Thanks to Per Holmseth for the story. And finally, 2 recent posts on Facebook show that shooting really is for everybody. Nigel Dewing was confined to a wheelchair after a stroke in 2014, and the closest he's got to his favourite sport of deer stalking has been to make shooting sticks. This year, he was well enough to go out roast stalking in West Berkshire using an off-road vehicle called a tramper, with a shooting rail made free of charge by a friend at the Royal Berkshire Shooting School. And he shot this nice buck. Meanwhile, in Norfolk, the local wildfowling club and Basque have a new member. Newborn Teddy Wells has joined the Kings Lynn and West Norfolk Wildfowling Association. Thanks to proud grandfather Colin Wells. And thanks to Colin and Nigel's wife Anne for sending in these stories. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Thank you, David. Now, it's not just about what we put on our YouTube channel. Fieldsports Channel films go much wider than that. Here's how wide. You're a TV production company, you're a TV news producer, and you're making a piece about hunting and shooting. You've got problems. The countryside is a big, scary place. It's so green. The wildlife is never where you want it. Nobody will talk to you. And they wear funny clothes. You're surprised to discover that people out there don't like the media much. This is where Fieldsports Channel can step in. We help TV people film the countryside. We have hundreds of hours of broadcast quality footage of every aspect of hunting, shooting and fishing. Our clients include BBC documentary makers, ITV News, CNN, and we even provide footage for panel quiz shows. Plus, we provide people who will talk to you in your studio or on location. We are good people to know. We provide newspapers with stories. Our staff are BBC and ITV trained. If they were dogs, that's like saying they're house trained. Since Fieldsports Channel launched its own weekly TV show on YouTube, we have told the story of hunting and shooting in more than 100 mainstream TV productions and many more newspaper articles. Because we can provide good quality VNR or video news release footage, editors can extend interviews and better tell the story of hunting, shooting and fishing. Fieldsports Channel, helping TV people out of holes since 2009.
There, and if you get a call from press or broadcast media that you can't answer, send them to me. Now, Hunting YouTube this week has been hijacked by a great bunch of hunting YouTubers. This is Hunting YouTube.
Happy birthday, Fieldsports Channel.
I got something for you guys.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Fieldsports Channel. Happy birthday to you. Even get a whitehead smile. Happy birthday, boys. Keep it up.
And I hope you will be here another 100 years at least.
Best wishes from Germany!
Hurrah!
Thanks to everyone who took part in that. And if you can name all 9 people who did take part in that and you want to put those names into a comment below, well, the first person successfully to do that will win a luxury Fieldsports Channel beanie. Now, Hunting YouTube has showcased more than 3,000 good hunting films over the last decade. I am quite pleased with that. This is the part of the show where I normally plug the website and wish you all good hunting, good shooting, good fishing. But this week, slightly different. One group of people we haven't mentioned who lit up our films and our lives over the last 10 years, who are no longer with us. And we're going to go out on them.